Welcome back to Adtopsy Live, you guys. This was an amazing show. This was the spiciest, juiciest show that you are going to see on YouTube today, this year. It's going to be amazing. Nicole, why don't you let people know what happened here?
This was the juiciest, goosiest tea spill of an episode that Adtopsy has ever had. We made Taylor rank all his favorite tools and tell us which ones he would throw off a cliff. It got very scary, and then there was a very heated debate on black and white with something about media buying, and words were said. At least 2 words were said. So you should watch the episode.
Pascal.
And he tricked us again with the Adtopsy Challenge. Taylor, how did you enjoy the episode? Did you have a good time today?
Came in a little bit intimidating, but left with new friends.
Oh, Taylor, we feel the same way.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Adtopsy Live. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. This is actually our season finale, ending very strong, starring myself, Jess Bachman, as Maximum Hair Boy.
Ow! Bump it.
Also starring Aaron Elliott as the Michelangelo of YouTube thumbnails.
Oh, thank you.
What does that make me?
Also starring Barry Hott as a thumbnail approval committee.
Specialist.
Sorry. Thumbnail approval committee chairman, Sistine Chapel branch.
That I'm honored that made it. I wish everyone could understand why that is that, but there we go.
Well, you'll see our YouTube thumbnail soon.
Oh,
inside jokes all around. Also starring Nicole Valadares as Kiki Coordinator.
Yes, Kiki.
Welcome to the other side. Starring Rachel Jackson as Hip Hop is Kind of My Thing.
Oh my God, that's so me. That's totally you, Rachel.
Starring Taylor Lagace as Twitter's #1 favorite Taylor. Welcome.
Oh, hello, Taylor.
Let's go. I love that.
The show is produced live by Nikki Brazier as edging ever closer to a first tweet at Nikki Brazier. Go follow.
I would say I'm definitely the less volatile and hostile Taylor on Twitter.
That's spicy.
You said that, Taylor. You said
I will own that. Yeah.
Okay.
love it.
Also starring the chat, obviously the most important part of Adtopsy Live. So get in there, chat. We love to hear what you have to say.
Who's here? Tell us.
So we have a very fun show today. We got Taylor, who is an industry expert. So he brought a couple ads. We're gonna do the Adtopsy Challenge.
Nice.
And then we have a new segment called Tool Time with the Tool Man Taylor.
Oh, love that.
Are these all fresh nicknames every time?
Yes, yeah, they really are.
They're from
That's
ChatGPT.
impressive. You were born for this. ChatGPT's just up. Nice.
Yeah.
And then we're going to end with every guest's least favorite segment, black or white. Every time we have a sort of an expert in their particular industry, we always like to bring in the hottest debates and then have them just settle it so we can just move on with our lives.
Great.
I love it.
So, Taylor, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, Taylor Lagace, co-CEO alongside my partner Cody Whittick at Kynship. We're an influencer marketing and paid social agency. It's a little bit about who we are. We've been in business for 4 years. A little bit about my background. I was at Common Thread Collective prior, working underneath the second favorite Taylor Holiday on Twitter.
You said it.
Yeah, no. Right out of college, I actually worked for Holiday as his entrepreneurial apprentice, quote unquote, which is
Nice.
just a glorified term for being his assistant for sure. But out of that place, he Common Thread seed funded Kynship. And yeah, that was 4 years ago. But that's the space that we live in. And that's what we do on a daily basis.
Love it. We are big fans of your playbook. We've stole it, used it. It's super valuable. Really appreciate all the free content you put out there.
I loved when Nicole with 2 L's said she was a seeder. I said, I love that. Come on.
A cedar, is that the term?
It's the term she used.
In the biz. You wouldn't know, Jess. It's
Oh, okay. Okay.
Industry terminology.
yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to share my screen and then we're going to get started with the Adtopsy Challenge.
With the music, right?
Yeah,
We got a
and
jingle.
Where's all of our folks at?
Yeah, if you're watching live right now, which a bunch of you are, drop us some comments.
Yeah,
say where you're tuning.
Our
Where are you
comments
tuning in from?
aren't working.
Where are you watching right now? What are you wearing? And I don't mean that in the
What are you
inappropriate.
wearing?
I don't mean that in the inappropriate way.
I don't love that, Barry.
I'm wearing a Foxwell Founders jambies, which I believe someone else on this call.
Rachel's also wearing a Foxwell
yes.
Jambies.
That's right.
And who wore it better? That's what I want to know.
Oh, well, it's not me.
Let's put it in the comments. Put that in the comments. Yo, there's the Iron Neck. I don't know who you are, but cool. I'm glad you're here.
Sweet.
So before we get started with the Adtopsy Challenge, I just want to remind people that there is a sort of companion newsletter. It's called Deep Cuts, where I dig into one particular topic and then go much deeper related to the show. Up over 105 subscribers. I think that's called 3 digits in the.
Oh my God.
Digit.
Wow.
Watch out.
Look at that open rate, sir.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, so we're going to get started with the
Nice
Adtopsy
sample
Challenge.
comment. Glad we featured the sample comment.
This is really well put together.
It's a good time.
This is going to be the last chance for anyone, including the chat, to participate in the Adtopsy Challenge League here. I did put in so we have like the win percentage, but then I put in a point score, which is actually the win percentage times the number of wins and losses. So currently I'm in the lead, followed up by Aaron. Barry is making a late season run here. So we'll see what happens.
How do I literally have 2?
Rachel's way down the list.
You said Rachel was the media buyer?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Lord.
Taylor, you're fitting right in.
But to get on this board, all you have to do in the chat is to comment, and then we'll get you on here, and then we'll see how you do. There's lots of people in here. See if you can beat Hugh Daniels, who's currently the leader here. So, Taylor, you brought 2 ads here, both from the same brand. You want to give a little bit of context about the brand here?
Yeah, Purdy and Fig. It's a cleaning supply company out of London. With them, I mean, we've been doing seeding as the seeder party for them for over a year now, and so they just get a ton of content every month they get about 1,000 posts going live every month from them from seeding. So just a lot of creative at their disposal from UGC creators, influencers, so on and so forth. Majority of them being micro influencers. But people just love this product. They have a really high LTV. So once people get their hands on it, it's especially from seeding. As you guys probably know, Nicole too well, is when you have a product that people genuinely love.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, you get a ton of content, people consistently talking about it. So this is a little context.
Love it.
All right, great. Let's watch it. It's about 18 seconds.
Starting off by giving the sofa a wipe over. This hack is amazing. I always use Counter Clean for this. This is 100% natural, so it won't damage my sofa. Plus it makes the whole room smell great. Then I'm adding some essential oils to my diffuser and cracking on with the kitchen. Once I've decluttered the sides, I'm using the same product as the sofa, as it saves so much time due to it being multi-use.
It's worth mentioning in between these 2 ads, I don't particularly love either of them. Like if I was to allow my personal bias to come into play here, I just want to say that's worth mentioning.
Okay. Interesting footnote.
Always worth mentioning, yeah. We agree.
Does anyone recognize this ad? Because I recognize it, but I can't say why.
Yeah, I do.
I recognize it too.
We must have. Did we already do this one?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No,
but I
are you sure we
recognize it.
didn't?
Why do we recognize it? Because
I can't say why.
Okay, you'll tell us later. Okay.
Yep.
You've seen both these ads?
Yeah,
you guys, again, are you guys those people that didn't buy from my ads?
Okay.
I feel like that's what you guys just all admitted, but whatever.
Here's a second video. It's about 32 seconds.
My cupboard was just jam-packed full until I discovered this product. which has completely transformed my routine. Now, I don't think that there's anywhere in my house that I don't use this product. Honestly, it's amazing. It's cut down on my plastic waste and it smells gorgeous. It's like a spa in your own home. And as well as that, it's completely natural, so it's not full of any nasty chemicals. So when you're using it, you're not breathing in anything nasty. I wouldn't be without it now.
I wouldn't be without it now. It's a precious ending.
This is running in the UK, I'm assuming?
And the United States.
Ooh.
Yeah, so chat, you can start to get your vote in now. Does anyone have any particular thoughts about either of these?
It's hard.
Well, yeah. Why have we seen the first one?
have
It's
we
So-
bugging me.
Can you
The,
not tell
the
us
reason why we've seen this first one is because I've used this ad as an example of like stage 4 ad cancer.
Oh,
because-
shit.
Because the editing is so nauseating to me personally. It's just so fast and just nauseating.
Offbeat, the transitions are offbeat, for
Yeah.
This is
sure.
not what, what's happening, like what the product actually is. I
Jess
can't
hates
tell.
this.
what the
Yes,
product
same.
is.
I can't tell what the product is.
They
It
never
does too
mention
many
the
things.
product either.
Yeah.
Do we not have any concerns both for this broadcast and for this ad that it has copyrighted music in it?
Oh.
I mean, I think we're fine for this broadcast, but as an ad,
Well,
slightly
Taylor,
concerning.
isn't that one of the challenges? Because these are both these are from the creators,
Creators.
right? So isn't that a challenge? Do they know not to, or do they disregard, or does it not matter?
I mean, they disregard. Again, this is from seeding, so they're completely doing it of their own free will. We're not giving them a script. We're not giving them a contract. We're not saying, hey, go post this, don't do this, don't do that. So
Right.
it's completely up to their discretion. We're very much so leaning into them as the creative agency to do whatever they want if they decide to post. So typically we would just, if it's music in the background, we typically just strip it. But it's a good catch there, Barry. And to be honest, we probably did strip it. This is just content from a Dropbox.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay.
It's a great
how
call
are-
out, though.
I don't say which one is better. Don't suggest, but like just to be clear, are we deciding based on amount spent or CPA or how are we deciphering which one's better?
How do you want to? I would say both.
I would just I mean I would. mostly
They
say
should align.
amount spent.
Yeah,
Are you
I-
sure?
Yeah, and they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the comments are
Unanimous.
unanimous,
I'm
so
scared.
don't go against them.
Brian's brain is hurt right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't particularly like either of them. I agree with you. The first one, the cuts offbeat, too much, too fast, doesn't really make too much sense, doesn't showcase the product really well. In the second video, even though it's from seeding, it honestly seems staged. in
She
my
seems
opinion.
hesitant. She seems a little
It's-
scared.
It is seeding.
I
though.
like her
This was
read.
not-
I
Is
don't
it
like
not
her read.
contracted?
I like her, but I don't like her read.
Can we get the hook again real quick?
Yep.
My cupboard was just jam-packed full
Yeah,
until
okay.
I discovered
I am obsessed with that hook. I think it's so
Right.
relatable.
I agree, but what I don't like is this is the hook, but it's not resolved because she then talks about plastic waste, and she doesn't get back to.
She said
the
it's completely
space
transformed my
savings.
routine. She said it completely
So now I
transformed
want
my
to
routine.
have this.
Yeah.
It's not as obvious as it would be if this is the hook. Like I need it to be my cupboards now only have one thing in it, and then I
She
have
resolved
something
it
to lose.
immediately.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
you
Jess
need a
wants
visual.
to see it. Jess
Yeah.
wants to see the wipe and then the replace with the
With
product.
just the
I get
one
that.
product in the cupboard.
That's what I want to see.
That's
They
what
know.
he
And he
wants.
wants to see a
Give the
banner
man
too.
what he wants. All right, can we just
It
vote
feels,
now?
It feels scripted to me at the end of the day
Yeah.
too, though.
This is rough.
All right.
Would you guys have guessed that this was scripted in comparison to seeding content?
I would
I
have
would
thought
think-
the second one was
Yeah,
scripted.
I would
Yeah.
have thought it was like a pitch that you guys get delivered
Yeah.
to, like with a brief. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't though. It wasn't.
that's crazy.
Do the influencers or do the seeders, do they kind of know the
seeders.
game a little bit, and they're like, I want them to use this as an ad, so I'm gonna make it kind of like an ad. Do
They
you feel like
might.
that's going on?
they don't really get anything out of it becoming an ad though at the end of the day, because we're not whitelisting this person or BCA ad, whatever you want to call it.
But if it worked, would you go back to them for more?
For sure, and that's part of the conversation here too. But that's very minimal. But I guess that could be a potential incentive for them, definitely.
Yeah. To like.
But I would say the game typically works where it works in the opposite direction within the influencer market space, where they typically want to get paid for an initial post or a piece of content, for sure.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, last chance for the chat to get their vote in. What is the chat saying? I can't really see it.
They're saying unanimously too, but they're a little afraid it's going to be
They're getting
one.
scared.
They're getting nervous.
Who else is scared?
Everybody's scared.
Appropriately.
Okay, so I'm gonna count to 3, and then we're gonna put up 1 finger
Oh my God, I'm
for
scared.
this horrific ad here, or 2 fingers for
I'm spooked.
this one here.
Oh no.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh shoot, Taylor, don't put 1.
No.
Everyone was wrong.
Oh my
No,
God.
are you kidding?
Wow.
So did
No way.
I got 100% in this season. So
Well, you already knew the answer.
I
I'm
was so gonna vote 1 just because like you're saying it doesn't have the music in it, but I bet you this is running somewhere with that music in it.
Yeah. So
would that have changed your vote? I'm actually curious.
I mean, 100%. If you told me that this ad might be running actually with that music in it, copyrighted, 100%, I would have. But maybe not 100%, but 50%.
Barry,
So-
explain why.
Putting a lot of stock into that.
Well, 2 reasons. Oh, yeah, great. Good point. 2 reasons. Thank you for asking, and thank you for pointing that out, Taylor. 1, I just believe genuinely that the audio makes so much of a difference in people's attention and performance. So viral TikTok music typically goes viral for a couple reasons,
sure.
but one of which can be that it sounds appealing and it works and it gets people's attention and keeps it. So that's one function and why I would expect that to work. The other reason why I believe that is because I was just auditing an account that was pretty much exclusively using copyrighted material because it kept winning. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. If they turn all these off, their entire account performance is going to take a nosedive, both in performance and scale. And so they have to choose between potentially getting, takedowns or sued, or continuing to run these. So it's a slippery slope.
Alvin's asking, does TikTok music have copyright limitations? Yes.
I mean,
Right?
just because, like, if you made a song and someone just put it in their, paid ad, you'd be upset. You'd be not happy to be not getting paid for that.
Right.
copyright is the limitation.
I do want to communicate though, Barry. If for sure was stripped, we have a hard process around that. Any music gets stripped.
All right. So I'd want to know what the actual audio being played with this would be.
So Taylor, I'm assuming there was like a good amount of spend behind this winner, right?
So this ultimately ended up being the target in the ad account CPA by 10%, and it spent about 20,000 pounds at peer prospecting. Both of them were peer prospecting as well.
And the other one?
Hardly any spend, no purchases.
Can you?
But you know how we operate though. To give
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
more on our
So
ad
no
account structuring,
no purchases means you got no data. So
which we see as a signal with cost
Yeah,
caps.
it's
Yes, and
not,
that's where we have a different opinion, and I completely respect your opinion.
wait, how much
But
did
yeah,
it spend? How much did it spend to get 0 purchases?
Probably spent $100 or $200. Typically, what we see.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we're big proponents of Facebook's machine learning system to be able to project out results. I mean, at the end of the day, the other creative had to do the same thing.
Okay,
And it got
great.
delivered.
Well, great way to end the season finale of the Adtopsy Challenge League. And I mean, I was almost going to vote for this first one because I know with your Twitter threads, you put up a choice where it's like the obvious one is not the
with
winner.
the obvious one. I genuinely thought Jess and Barry, you were going to get it.
I wanted to, but I couldn't. I couldn't be the only one.
I couldn't
be the
do
only
it.
one.
Some people love ad cancer. They just
I
love
did.
that stuff.
I did come in here though curious though of what your guys' thoughts on our approach was, given the fact that we do have so much great at our disposal each month, right? And I don't know if we can transition that at all, but I generally want to hear your guys' 2 cents because
We'll
every month, right, we do have all that at our. You said go ahead.
we'll get into that.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
Oh God.
Don't worry.
We got to pay the bills first.
Right.
Paying the bills. All right, we had to put it up for debate here. Which one was the best?
So just want to shout out to the Foxwell Founders community. These are all the different channels. It is, again, it's like one of the best tools in our toolbox in terms of, it's very much like a Swiss Army knife. The other day I just posted, I was helping someone find, another gig. And so for me, if you want to like find another job or get, a job placed or something, forget like, LinkedIn or whatever. It's just communities and your network. And if you don't have a big network, you can literally join one, which is the Foxwell Founders. And then now you have a network and you can just, get people hired or whatever. So absolutely reach out to Andrew Foxwell. He'll hook you up with a bit of a discount.
And maybe you'll get one of these sweet Foxwell
Foxwell
little hoodies.
little
Jambies.
foxes.
Jambies.
Very
Extremely
strong merch
soft.
game.
Can I do an extra plug for Foxwell here? For myself, for the cost cap conversation? If what we're about to talk about at some point is about cost caps, I dropped a 30-minute breakdown of what I think about cost caps and why they're great and what I fundamentally have problems with them. That is in the Foxwell community right now, available to any members. Strongly recommend it. And that's the kind of thing that exists only in Foxwell Founders. So there's stuff like that from me and from other people in there. So if you're looking for that, that's stuff that you're not going to get on Twitter in 280 characters or actually whatever the Twitter blue limit is now, thousands of characters. I'm not going to write it on Twitter for free. So it's in Foxwell Founders. Come check it out.
Yep. So moving on to the next segment, Tool Time with the Tool Man, Taylor. Here we are.
Ew, do we have a jingle?
I know. I wish we had a jingle.
Ooh, but I do like this.
We have
I
a
get that as a
Photoshop.
bobblehead right there. I love it.
I love it.
Can we just play the theme song from the
Look
show?
at-
Do we not even have that?
Look at Al looking at you like, what?
Maybe Barry can do some grunting or something.
That ain't it. That ain't it,
Yikes.
Barry.
So one of the reasons why I like following you, Taylor, and Cody is because you're doing something new in your space and you are innovating. And a lot of times innovating requires using different tools to create a whole new process. So I wanted to know, I'd love to know what are the tools that you use in your daily work to get this done. And then I wanted to see if we could just rank them like the most important to least important.
Yeah, great question.
Wait, what's
I mean,
how would you define a tool? What are you talking about?
Like a software or something.
Like Notion, right? That we
Like a
The
hammer.
majority of what comes into play here is all on the influencer seeding side of things, right? We're mass creating a lot of content to supplement our ad account. So, I mean, on the seeding side of things, we use a tool called Aspire for identification. They're great. We vetted. I mean, there's a million of these tools, right? Rin's
What's
probably the
identification?
influencer identification, so be able to identify influencers. Think TikTok Creator Marketplace, Instagram Creator Marketplace. Those are some free tools on the market, right? So if you're looking to dip your toes in the water, hop on there. It's pretty good. More robust tool would definitely be Aspire. We previously used Tagger. We vetted Grin, all the other ones. Aspire, a lot of them do the same thing. I would look for customer service as kind of what gets it over the hump for you. These guys have great customer service. Yeah, they're awesome. So Aspire for identification. For social listening, again, seeding is, hey, Jess, think you're a great brand fit, love your content, would love to send this to you, no strings
Thank
attached,
you.
no expectation of you to post, like how Barry's going to seed me the ugly ad merch without an expectation of me to post, but maybe I will. So social listening tool, we don't know when, what, how, where they're going to post, right? So social listening tool right here is Mighty Scout. We use them. They were a game changer for us. Prior to Mighty Scout, you just have someone scouring the internet 24/7 looking to see when, what, how, where these people posted. That's a nightmare. Archive's another tool. Again, Mighty Scout, though, customer service side of things, they were phenomenal for us. We have, this is a little bit of a self-plug, but it's not really. We offer it basically for free to all of our clients. It's just something that we use. It's called the Seeding app on Shopify. It allows us to connect to Shopify stores and send out products at mass scale for the brands that we're working with, or if brands were to do it for themselves. Zeroing out orders, whoever's doing that internally for brands understands that's a nightmare at scale. This solves that problem, the Seeding app. Let's see. What else here? Identification, outreach. Yeah, I would say those three tools are some big ones.
So how does like these 500 influencers, like where do they upload their content, or how do you get that content, or how do you manage all that content?
Mighty Scout.
Oh, okay.
Mighty Scout is collecting all. So basically everybody that opts in to receive product, yes, I would love to. Boom. We insert their handles into Mighty Scout, and then it's collecting their content in real time.
Do you ignore? I tend to ignore the entire Mighty Scout dashboard, all the numbers, because
it's all vanity.
Okay. Glad we agree.
No, I strictly use it for the purpose of what I just kind of articulated.
Yeah.
Being able to collect content in real time. I mean, some brands care about it, right? The vanity. But at the end of the day, you know what we're after. We just want the content to supplement our paid media efforts here.
Do you ever go back to influencers and offer money, or have to deal with contracts or anything like that?
Definitely. So that's what I'm sure we'll get into as well. Basically, seeding, right? We have all this. People want organic distribution, right? They want to build out an influencer program, and seeding is just the bottom of the pyramid. So then we use Social Snowball for affiliate. Social Snowball. So they posted about us for free. We've started the relationship in a genuine way. Hey, if they're going to post about you for free, it kind of serves as a very seamless transition into onboarding people into affiliate programs. We use Social Snowball there. So, hey, post it free. Why not get paid? It's an easy way to build that out. Social Snowball. So the pyramid kind of goes up from there. Basically, from there, we're seeing who's performing best in paid media content-wise from the seeding creative, who's performing best on the organic side from the affiliate side of things. Now let's go create some more thoughtful content with those individuals and supplement our ad account with that based on what's worked best from all the seeding creative. So we're getting thoughtful creative as well and building off what's working best in the ad account with these creators simultaneously alongside it.
Wow. Do you use anything do you have like contracts at all? Contract management? Does it get that far up the pyramid?
Social Snowball does a great job of that.
Okay.
But yes, and then at that point, right, so the pyramid, right, seeding, organic posts go live from seeding, content gets repurposed into paid media from seeding. Okay, who's the best, who's the top performers, onboard everybody that honestly received product and it posted into the affiliate program, who's performed best. Okay, now we're getting them as an ambassador, I would say. We're paying them upfront cash for consistent content, activations, posts, so on and so forth. Micro to macro approach. Let's go get a flag bearer of the brand now and work our way up to see, okay, who should be the face of this brand based on everything that's been working.
One thing that's kind of in that pyramid is sort of like the PR unboxing experience where I can't remember what tool we use, Nicole.
Packlane. We use Packlane as well. That's another tool there. Packlane.
Nice.
They were great. We used to use, never mind, I won't roast them. Packlane's great.
Yeah, no.
I won't use it as a roast. We used to use others. It's kind of like how we used to use Tagger. I guess I kind of roasted Tagger. They do a phenomenal job. Packlane, super quick turnarounds, great customer service, beautiful unboxing experiences. And that's really important, worth mentioning with seeding.
Totally.
The frame of mind that you want to put yourself in when sending your product to somebody that's no strings attached. Okay, how do I make this a postable experience for them?
Right.
Do they want to post a yellow envelope, or do they want to post, this beautiful unboxing that's worth sharing with their audience?
So is it always a custom box, or because if you're doing it at such scale, how do you approach the cost of the unboxing or the boxing portion of things?
Well, ideally, they already have a pretty decent unboxing set up with their customers. Ideally. If they don't, we strongly recommend it. the cost is just worth it based on the improvement of the numbers, right? I mean, if you go to, like, to give you a breakdown of what we typically see, and Jess and Barry, you've probably heard this a million times, but just to speak to it, when identifying and reaching out to 500 influencers, on average, we see 100 to opt in to receive product. And out of 100 that opt in to receive product, 30 of them end up posting on average 2 to 3 times each, right? So 60 to 90 unique posts, 30 influencers. If you go anywhere in the marketplace within the pay for post model, whether you do it internally as a brand or pay an agency to do it, if they give you usage rights too, you're looking at a 30K fee probably. Like if you're getting a spanking deal, probably 20K at a minimum. So the extra cost that you need to invest into your unboxing experience to get a significantly more amount of posts and better content is worth the investment.
Yep.
Does this work for, specific AOV type brands, or like, certain types
Like high AOV would be challenging, right?
like you can't do furniture.
Or
Right.
jewelry.
At scale, it'd be hard. But I would say the more valuable the product, the more posts you get. There is definitely a correlation there.
Yeah.
But best case, I mean, just put your frame of mind, what products would work well for seeding? Is this a product people would be proud to post about? So like really hot products are, like Purdy and Fig makes sense, right?
Yeah.
People love showing off that they have this premium house cleaning product that they take care of their home with, right?
Can't
That
relate.
takes that.
It's a big lifestyle thing. Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah.
So put yourself in the frame of mind. Is this something that people would be proud to post about? A product that sucked. A shirt that made you look thinner at the gym for men.
Yeah,
no one's
one's
posting.
proud.
No
Yeah.
one's
Yeah.
posting about that. No one's proud about that.
Right.
So that's the frame of mind.
Yeah, you'd have to pay me extra. You'd have to pay me a lot extra to get me to like post that.
Right. So,
But like, I just am curious I just think about like, I do a lot of brands I talk to like that are more expensive, and like they couldn't afford to do that because like it's, an expensive specialized product or extremely expensive just to ship. Just the shipping alone might be precarious, like if it's a heavy product or large product. So I'm just trying to think.
It depends what you're trying to do, right? Depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to build out a successful influencer marketing program, like on the organic side of things, I would always highly recommend starting with seeding. Start the relationship by giving, not asking for anything in return. You want it to be genuine. You want it to be authentic. You want to identify those individuals in that way. So I would start there. Just start at a smaller scale. If you're after creative, I would not say that's the most cost-effective way to go after creative.
Got it.
And the other variable is the size of the influencer or the quality of the influencer. Like if they have 100 followers, you probably wouldn't send a couch to, but if they had 100,000, you might make sense.
I'm very bullish on micro influencers though, over macro as well. Just greater reach, greater engagement, greater conversion rate, easier to align your target audience with, and they're 1/10 of the cost. Like I would take 10 micros over one macro any day of the week.
And they're so eager. Like
I'd probably agree.
They're so pleasant to deal with too.
Well, and you get usage rights to their content very easily as well, instead of paying just an obnoxious, not market rate fee for 30-day usage rights or something. So, yeah. That's a separate conversation.
So, Taylor, which of these tools would hurt you the most if you could not use it in your business?
Ooh. Well, I would say, and if the competitors weren't available, obviously.
Right.
Mighty Scout.
Wow. So Jess, just to be clear, what we're going to do is blur all these out, bleep out all the names of these in the later, and then we're going to blackmail all these brands to pay us, or they won't get promoted. Is that right? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Here?
All the affiliate links will be in the description below as well.
See, that's a good idea. Now that's a good idea.
And let me just explain this a little bit too, because the alternative is literally someone scouring the internet 24/7 to see when, what, how these people post, and that's a nightmare. Like identification wise, like Instagram and TikTok actually there's free tools available. They do a pretty decent job. If that's not available, and like the Instagram drop down menu is not available, it shows you like, the machine learning systems presenting influencers to you that are like the top performer that you had. I would still say Aspire is number 2 though, for sure.
Also, just remind me, or any of does Social Snowball, or do one of these do something where like it can help you identify existing creators within your like customer list?
So that's a tool, Gatsby. But actually, you're not actually able to do that anymore.
No.
You're not able to showcase out of your customer base the social medias that are connected to that. But Gatsby created a workaround where they help you with automating workflows where you present a form to people when they type in their email address and then they input their Instagram handle and it all syncs, and they do a really good job with different flows and activating those individuals.
Is that Gatsby.ai? Which one is that?
Gatsby.ai, yes.
Sweet. I'll check that out. Thanks.
Barry loves AI.
Not like that. Just not in a creepy way.
Gatsby's still good.
I love
we
AI.
actually might start working with Gatsby again.
Sweet. No, I just meant Jess said I love AI, and I just wanted to make sure it was clear. It was a platonic love. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
I want to make
Nothing
sure
weird going on here.
that's clear about my love for you too, Barry.
There she goes.
So speaking of AI, moving into our next sponsor, Triple Whale, who is just adding AI all over the place, up and down that product. They recently added a thing where you could just like chat and get sort of metric back here. So this is Max put out this tweet, and he's like, "Give me the name of my best customer," and then it returns, "The results show that Max blank is your best customer, having generated yada yada yada."
Your tweet about this was great, Jess. Underrated tweet.
No one got it though.
I hate when I see a great tweet and it just doesn't get any love. That was a good one, Jess.
I said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best customer of them all?"
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You had 7 likes. It should have had 7,000. Oh.
It's super true, though. That's really important. I mean, Gatsby does a good job at that if the forms have been created to collect the social medias, because then that is what we're after when putting together that initial seeding list. Who are the highest LTV customers that are also creators that put out great video content? We definitely want to sweep up that low-hanging fruit first and foremost within our seeding campaigns.
And if Triple Whale had its way, it would literally just build all these products and just take over. That's kind of their MO so far. Yeah. And they also released this thing called Lighthouse, which is, again, it uses AI to surface quote unquote insights. I don't know if you've used it. I've been sort of unimpressed with it yet, but it's a hard problem to solve, to serve like true insights from raw data. But usually what I've seen, it's like sales are up 800% in the last 5 minutes, or it just doesn't, it doesn't really understand
Was that
the
the
data.
stock market? Like, what were you doing? It seemed like it was you.
Yeah, it basically sounds just like that.
Yeah, Triple O has their own trading index now.
That's what it sounded like. He was like.
But they're going to get better. They have a great dev team, so excited to see how that can work.
I'm loving the product. And okay, I'll shut up.
No, you've already interrupted the flow. Continue.
I'm loving the product analytics tool. I used it the other day and found a crazy helpful insight about a certain product that new customers were buying way more than returning customers. And we brought it up to the team, and we're making a new creative based on that insight. And yeah, it's a great tool.
Yep. So moving into everyone's favorite segment called Black or White. So Taylor, this is where we've identified 4 debates within the various industries, and I need you to choose, is it black or is it white? And you can't use the word "it depends" or both.
What can you explain a little bit further? What do you mean? What determines it's black or white?
Well, so I'm going to show you what the debates are. I'm going to read them to you, and then you tell me which is the correct camp, I'd say.
Which one is
true? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And then do we have a conversation about it?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on your answer, I guess.
I feel like it's about to be a 1-on-5 situation, but that's all right. We're going to say
No. All right. So here is the black side of things. Creative performance winners are completely random, so there's no point in applying expertise in the creative process. False. And now the flip side is creative is the biggest performance lever, so it makes sense to get good at it. This means specific strategy, storyboard, script casting, and editing. Which is the correct way to go about things?
That's a hard black and white answer. I would say So you gotta understand our process, though. We do both, right? We do both. Like the black side of things is seeding.
You got to pick one. That's the game.
That's the game. That's why it's hard.
That's why everyone hates it.
But
you
I don't
can-
know why
you-
we keep doing this.
I'm curious about your both answer. So
Yeah.
Well, the black is
Let's hear
seeding,
it.
obviously, right? But
Right.
you understand. You understand. I over-index myself on this sort of thing. I feel like you took like a tweet maybe I put out word for word on the black side of things.
Yeah, we did.
But I
Of
need
course
to
we did.
I over-index this because I am a huge proponent of you need to remove your personal bias when launching a piece of creative
Yeah.
and give it to the
Agreed.
machine. What's the best way to do that? I mean, you're literally wearing the hat. Ugly ads work. So
Of course.
from seeding, we're getting 200 pieces of creative at our disposal. I want to deploy them all, regardless of what we think, and that's obviously why I gave you guys those 2 ads, right? The one that got $20,000 to spend and beat our CPA target by 10%. I wanted nothing. It makes me cringe too, guys, but I'm not the one purchasing the product at the end of the day. So from the seeding side of things, I would say that probably more so aligns with the black side of things. On the white side of things, though, we are contracting individuals and giving them creative briefs and doing thoughtful creative based on what's working best from our seeding content. So we're
Look,
doing
Taylor, we get it. There's a lot of nuance here. You got to just pick one, though.
Hey,
To your head.
I'm getting conflicting messages. Just said elaborate. You're telling me to get to the point.
I'm just trying to create some
yeah,
drama on the show.
elaborate, but now get to the point, which is it.
I'll just go black just for the fun of it.
Oh,
You're a wedding idiot. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god!
I actually
can't.
really like what you said, Taylor, about sort of like the step 1, step 2 approach, where it's sort of a mass approach initially, and then you see what works, and you build the more thoughtful ads based off of that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
And my answer, so I would say gray for my final answer. It doesn't exist. I know it can't, but I'll say black. The reason why I'm saying black, I've been able to get more spend at my target performance behind my seeding creative.
Yeah.
And the pushback could very well be you suck at making thoughtful creative. I get it.
Taylor, if I were you and I had to choose one of these 2, I would say black as well. Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so moving on to the next one.
That was a hot lead. That was a hot lead of a question.
Yeah. It's that's the point of this ridiculous challenge.
You guys went strong.
Yeah.
So black here is stick to a strict criteria for selecting influencers to work with, capping yourself at 200 to 500 per year who are on brand to ensure high quality content that aligns with your brand's values and messaging. And then white is open up your influencer program to a wider pool of creatives. The potential rewards in terms of increased brand exposure and engagement make the extra management worth it, even if some of them are off-brand or potentially problematic.
Black for sure.
Oh,
wait,
look at
what?
this. Wait, look who's here.
Who's that?
Coming closer.
Hello,
The
everyone.
Crow Daddy
It's
himself.
the Crow Daddy.
Daddy.
Hello, Rachel,
Oh, there he
Taylor.
is. It's him. It's real.
Oh,
this
wow.
isn't virtual. This isn't virtual, guys. This is a
Maybe
real.
you gotta
just
laugh at it.
give him a kiss.
AI is
Nice
crazy.
podcast.
Oh, how sweet.
Not our
That
first
was
kiss.
very sweet.
Oh, but it
You're
won't be
in
our
love with
last.
that.
See you,
So
Dylan.
jealous.
That's how I get COVID.
So explain why you think black, because I would have thought you would have chose white here.
Yeah.
Isn't that like isn't that
Why?
Isn't that what you do?
isn't that what you do on the performance winners side of things? You mass seed?
But listen, guys. I mean, again, I feel like I over-index on myself on this because I'm just such a proponent. I want to get it ingrained in people's head. You need to give everything a shot and take your personal bias out of the equation. But you understand, like the creative we're launching, a ton of thoughtfulness goes into the identification process of these influencers. So it's not like we're going after. We have a highly vetted process in our identification process. We're getting on a call with the brand, right? We're deep diving who their customer is. We're trying to align the influencer with that as much as possible. Who influences that customer, right? What makes them a brand fit, persona fit, demographic fit. More than anything, though, do they have the ability to create great video content? We have a series of 8 questions, grading them 1 through 3 on all their videos. Are they charismatic? Are they articulate? Can they capture my attention the first 3 seconds? All these things that score them, and we're only working with creators that score 20 and above. So a ton of thought goes into who are we actually putting
creative bias. You're building your bias into that process
as much as we can, right? But it's still, we're going to get a ton of creative at our disposal from it. Yeah, a ton of thought goes into who are we identifying and putting product in the hands of, because we ultimately want to only do it to who do we think, yes, our bias, if we put product in their hands, who is going to sell me on that product with the video content they're creating, posting, that we ultimately want to repurpose in paid media.
The quantity kind of goes against bias in a good way, like if you have enough quantity, you're
we're balancing it. We're balancing the scales there through this, for sure.
I like that.
You're a complicated man, Taylor.
It's another, I would say gray again, but I would lean to the black. You definitely don't want white, right? If I had to choose one of those two, white seems silly.
Okay. All right, so couple more. Here we go. Black. Micro influencers are such a better value than macro influencers.
I don't even need to see the other one. Keep it.
White is success with micro influencers requires scale, and those costs can creep up on you versus the single cost of a macro influencer.
No,
that's an easy
one. It's not even close. It's black.
This was
I mean, literally go back to the 10 micro influencers in comparison to one macro. Let's just say 10 micros, 100,000 followers, however you want to define a micro, regardless. 100,000 followers, one macro with 1 million followers. That macro is going to be 10x the cost of working with all 10 of those micros, no usage rights to that creative. I'm going to get 10x the content. I'm going to get greater reach, greater engagement, greater conversion rate, and it's a more dense audience to align my brand with. And it's the same reach when you collectively aggregate it.
Even if it's lower reach, right? Like you're still in, I would argue, and you'd probably agree, right? Like you're increasing the probability of a win by doing
100%. Yeah. 100%. But I think you get both.
Right.
Yeah. So black, there's no gray there. You work with a macro it's a brand lift, brand equity play, you know, like Athletic Greens has done a good job with that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, black.
So the last one, what the people came to see, what they paid the price of admission for.
Oh boy.
See, the black camp is Meta is so sophisticated and has so much data that it can pick winning creative with only a few impressions. Therefore, use cost caps for testing.
Okay.
And then the white camp is maybe we shouldn't abandon 400 years of the scientific method on the word of some 38-year-old super genius who has repeatedly lied to advertisers. Therefore, set specific budgets for testing.
Well, we already talked about this. At the end of the day, I position the question to you. How
You're
would
on
you
the
go
hot
about
seat. You're on the
how
hot
would
seat
you go?
here, sir.
Well, it's 1 on 5, so people want me to put you guys on the hot seat. I don't see there being any other way to launch 200 assets into an ad account if I'm taking into consideration the client. And what's the alternative? If the alternative is I need to go pick and choose and bring my bias into the play and select my favorite 50 out of the 200, my answer to that is no chance. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
And based off the winners, I'm going to go create thoughtful creative, and I'm going to do that. And I have no problem, guys, after I identify the winner and it's consistently winning, dropping it into a lowest cost campaign and firing budget. I don't really have a problem behind that. The problem would be running all this creative within a lowest cost campaign.
For sure.
If I weigh the scale of, hey, what if I'm wrong? You know, not getting enough data behind this and giving it a shot could have led to it hitting target performance at delivery. And when I weigh that against, okay, $200, $300 of over delivery behind 200 assets each, that's way too much over delivery above target performance. So that's what leads it to, I need to run it in this way, without a doubt. Because
do you retest things?
All the time. And we cut it up in a variety of different iterations, 100%.
So my only pushback to that is I do agree that cost caps is really the only way to test that volume of creative. But you're creating a scenario where cost caps is a solution. And so if you were to only test 5 or 10 creatives a month, would you also then use cost caps?
No. I mean, it depends what the brand wants, though, too, at the same time. A majority of the clients that are onboarding with us, right? If you guys follow me, I constantly am saying you only spend money if we're making you money. We have the luxury of that with how much creative we have at our disposal to get delivery, right, at volume of spend. If I have 5 to 10 pieces of creative with a cost cap on it at performance, I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of spend, and I'm going to say I need a lot more creative. So yeah, you will probably need to run a lowest cost campaign to get delivery there and meet the goals of the brand at that point. Without a doubt, I just don't see there being any other way to do this most effectively within the environment that we're in.
Do you ever turn ads off, or you just leave them?
No.
You never turn them off?
No, we let Facebook, if it's not spending, that's them turning it off.
And that's on CBO, or you have right?
CBO, yeah. Right. Exactly. I came in really curious to hear how you guys, if you guys were not a proponent of cost caps for what I'm doing, I was super curious to hear the structure that you guys would put it into.
Yeah, we just don't. So I think we are a proponent for what you're doing because that's the only way to do things. But we just do something differently. So it's the cost cap argument gets abstracted to cost caps or not cost caps, and that's not the way at it at all. Barry, you have some thoughts on this, do you?
Oh, I do. So again, shout out to the Foxwell Founders. Go check out, if you're a member, go check it out. If you're not a member, go sign up and join. There are a lot of variables here. Again, I'm going to criticize the cost cap only structure, but I want to be very clear that I'm very supportive of it. Like, I like what you've come up with. Again, to echo Jess, in order to test at that scale, like, it's very smart. My problem is that it does create a chance for you to miss out on some winners because you aren't allowing the system to actually fully test enough. Like, I understand it has tons of signals, more than any of us human marketers can possibly have. I get that. But fundamentally, if the system only spends a couple $100, it can only go after a certain number of users in whether that's devices, placements, gender, age, states, cities, wherever it is that it gets attention, or whatever signals it thinks it needs or wants to determine it's going to be successful or not, by the time it's spent that little bit of money, is very potentially not going to give it the chance for something new, something different than everything else that's worked in your account. It's not going to get that chance to find it. And also, 2, 3, 4, 5 conversions can happen by luck. 2, 3, 4, 5 conversions cannot happen by luck. So
for sure,
I think at scale, again, like Jess said, and like you're saying, like, this is a better system for most people than using lowest cost and like waiting and like letting it run rampant. I would also, just as much as I would probably argue against cost cap, I would argue that most media buyers, and this is what you rally against, most media buyers who aren't doing this cost cap stuff are not monitoring campaign performance enough, are letting things spend wildly out of control, and not even getting close to performance. So I think both are problematic in very different ways, but your route, to very much to your credit, is safer, more conservative, and in that way, great.
And Barry, we respectfully agree to disagree. I do think not spending is a signal, and their machine learning system is sophisticated enough to do that. But let's say you are right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you are right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with missing out on some winners.
Right. But that's the important thing. Like, I'm going to very strongly agree with you.
The alternative is launching it all and overspending on 90% of them, and the 10 best winners surface. I think within my method, the best winners still surface. I truly do. And maybe some of them that could have performed at performance or just below performance, we missed out on. But that's okay in my mind. So even if you are right, when you weigh the scales of pros and cons, I think our route with what we're doing, you have to. I'm
mostly right, and like with you and agree and encourage it. I just want people to know that they can be missing out on something by doing that also. And just to periodically like go back and check against that. Go pick some of the ones that got their spend restricted and like go and take them and rerun them with a higher bid or higher cost cap or maybe on lowest, because just to give it a chance, especially if it's something you thought would have done better, or like obviously we're biased as marketers and it's good to learn that. I love learning, by the way, when something I think is going to crush and it fails. I love learning that just as much as I also love seeing something I think that sucks and it crushes. Those are massive learning experiences both ways. So I think it is important to see that a little bit more. And I just, again, know that the system, it's not, when it stops spending, it's not saying that it has, with statistical significance, gotten enough data to shut it down. It's just saying you've set a cap that it won't allow it to continue spending past.
There's also a discussion that doesn't really happen around this, which is related to production, where your system, Taylor, makes sense because the cost to get that content is pretty cheap relative to the cost to make other content. And I think most other brands are doing it, I wouldn't say the old-fashioned way, but they are paying editors and they're shooting and they're doing all this stuff and they're getting UGC and they're making creative that costs probably more than $100 to make, and so they can't afford to have like 9 out of 10 of that fail. It's not an efficient system, So they have to, especially after they have an onus to test the creative to get a good result. I don't think they can afford to be like, it's been $30. Facebook says no, even though there's no purchases, and now they can cut bait on that particular creative because they've already invested into it. So they do require a little bit more spend on that side.
I mean, and I think it's all.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's also, I like learning what doesn't work and why, giving it a certain amount of spend. Because I think something we do at Fireteam is we're looking at exactly, I mean, it's a lot of guesswork. We really don't know why, of course, but it's our job to try to figure it out. And looking at, okay, why is this hold rate lower than the thumb stop? But the thumb stop is good, but maybe the conversion rate is a little bit lower, but the watch time actually was good. I think all of that dissection is an opportunity to learn. So it's maybe not just about finding the winners, it's also finding out what doesn't work and remixing that.
For sure.
We all agree.
Well, one other thing I want to go back to. There was a question, Taylor, I think you said, which was like, how else could you do this like safely? And I think there is another strategy that sucks, but it is another strategy, and it is possible to optimize for a higher funnel action. That you get more actions on more frequently.
You're on record saying this there.
At a cheaper rate. Now, will you give me 2 minutes to dig into this first? Like quick.
It's your funeral. Yeah, go for it.
Thanks. Exactly. So I want to caveat, this is a terrible piece of guidance. I'm not strongly advocating for this, but if I were in a situation where I did have that much creative, I probably would, at a lower budget, test that much creative, optimized for add to cart or initiate checkout, even though I know that those are
I think I will just chime in and say I think you're burning money, but keep going.
You are going to burn money. You are absolutely.
So why even?
Hear me out. I'm getting there.
Do you have other bad advice to lay on people?
There. No, stick with me. Okay.
Cringing.
I'm saying you can optimize to initiate checkout, and yes, you are going to get a much worse cost per purchase on that testing. However, if you do add to cart or initiate checkout, assuming that your funnel flow has enough barriers in it that people getting to that are authentically valuable and taking valuable action, you're bringing more people that are into your funnel potentially that maybe aren't ready to buy right now, but you're maybe actually doing getting bigger reach, getting cheaper clicks, getting all that, and you're able to get more data on those lower level actions more rapidly, which means you can test with less budget, which means that you can test more rapidly. So it is a very bad plan from a direct response purchase perspective. Very bad advice. However, if you have a large number of creative that you want to test, it is actually a way to do so with better confidence. So yeah,
Is it just 2 cents on this? Just
Sure.
hear me out.
I'm not saying this is a perfect plan, and I'm not saying I fully support
Just
this.
said
I just want to be clear.
My 2 cents on this is just Facebook as a machine learning system, right? It's pulling
Mm-hmm.
people together within these objectives. And so I don't want to make the objective initiate checkout or add to cart just because these are people that have proven to do that action in comparison to purchase. So in my opinion, this would just be bad data to even work off of, because that's not even data correlated to people that are converting at the end of the day.
I mean,
So
it is
wouldn't
correlated, right? More people check out.
But these
on
aren't people. But I only want data around people that are proving to be a part of the pool of people within the conversion objective. And
I want to co-sign that. Like, I generally would be concerned if I was auditing an account that was optimizing to anything but purchase. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm with you. I'm trying to say that this is another way to test that mass scale of creative, and I've actually seen it be functional. But it sucks because you have to spend money on stuff that is going to convert less.
This is also a problem with really high AOV products where
Yes.
we're dealing with a client right now where it's a similar thing where it's like, okay, one purchase, how am I going to make any decision off of that?
Exactly.
So there is a discussion about what is a cost per initiate or what does a initiate checkout creative testing campaign look like. But I agree with, of course, purchase optimize is the way to go for the reason Taylor said. I mean, these are different buckets of people.
But the action, the intent behind the action, right? That's what you need to. It can't be a simple metric that you're optimizing to. It has to be something that shows significant intent and that people are actually taking valuable action and putting time and effort into it. Because look, my point is, the ad, if you're comparing 2 ads or 10 ads or 100 ads, 200 ads, whatever, the ad that drove the most out of those, the most efficient cost per checkout initiated, is almost definitely going to correlate to the ad that would drive the most purchases when optimized to purchase. So if you can get way more data, way more rapidly about that, similar with add to cart. Add to cart's a little wonkier because it's, depending on what you're selling, it might not be that big of a deal. You might just get a lot of window shoppers and it's not that great. But so it really does depend. But again, on a high AOV thing where you're talking about $1,000 CPA probably, like you can't just optimize for purchase and set a cost cap. It's not gonna get you data.
So Barry, the next time you ask for 2 minutes to explain something, I'm going to say no.
Well, I cut him off and made it a conversation, so I apologize.
The internet is better for it.
That's to be determined.
Okay, so well done, Taylor. You absolutely survived the gauntlet. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I love the discussion. Always great to get out of the tweets and into the something that rhymes with a show, something like that. But thank you for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. I'll be honest, I was a little intimidated coming in 5-on-1 when I saw all the invites. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, you're great.
But then Nicole with 2L just came in, just showing so much love.
No, it's
Appreciate
true.
it.
Besties.